Whoa, what is that doing up on there? Just kidding. Hey, it's Patrick again with another profit trailer update for P-Dub's Random World. So, yeah, I figured why not open it up with a joke this time? Who doesn't love blow up sheep? So, anyway, it's been a long, arduous journey here. So, let's just get into the data straight away. So, the first thing we're going to look at here. This is where we're at on the P-Dubs bot. I've been running it, we're going to say today would be day 15 now. Excuse me. So, as you can see, not very productive. As I mentioned in my first update, I kind of got in when the market started to go willy-nilly here. It's been like a horrible roller coaster, and I feel like I'm at Cedar Point and my head's about to come off. But the market's starting to stabilize now. We're starting to hover around that 8,000 to 9,000, far from that dip down to 6,000 the other day, where it just, well, there wasn't really anything you could do except suffer. So here's where we're at on P-Dubs bot. You know, I've still got 22 pairs because I run a lot of high pairs, but man, is this horrible or what? Look at this, 36% down. The volume on this thing, I trade in over 75 Bitcoin volume, and the volume on this thing has just tanked. It is dead. It is off the so far low, it might as well be negative. I'm taking Bitcoin out of it. But that's how it goes. It's not the hot coin, so I just have to hold on to it for a little while. And I'm not running a DCA anymore, so anything I do DCA wise is me manually going in and buying some coins down. It was a bit confusing, and during this whole thing, it started out when I was using the DCA, and it didn't do anything except run up and rack up a horrible bill for me. It just kept eating everything, and I had to wait for stuff to come back. But I mean, look at it. We're at 7 days, 12, 12, 10, 13, 12, 12, 12, 9, 10, 10, 10. Those are just stuck from when I was in DCA. They kept buying down, and the market just kept going down. You know, in a bear market, there's not anything you could do except buy down and wait for it to come back up. And so that's been the problem I've had. And I don't like to not sell. I don't like to not make profit. So I got to be doing something, at least something a little bit every day. Now, I have fought the urge to sell off anything at a loss. Thank God. But it's been hard. It's been trying. There have been some times where, let's take a look at the sales log here. And this is for the last week. You know, down here, I've done a couple panic sales here, but not for losses. Just things where I'm like, man, it's getting up there to the point where it should be selling, and just things start getting stagnant. So instead of going from that 1.3 or 1.5 or 1.75%, and then it drops down to 1.2%, and then it's selling out, I trigger a panic sell. So that's just my way of selling it out at high when it starts to level out. So you can see I don't have any really big hits here, because most of my stuff is, you know, nickel, dime, quarter stuff, especially with P-Dubs here. So it normally gets me about 30 to 50 cents per transaction when I'm using 5% of my trade. Now, today I am going with a little bit of a, trending up a little bit, I guess. So far today, I've had XRP, ETC, and ZEC sell out. They were things that I bought yesterday, but as you can see from yesterday, I had 4 things go yesterday. EMC squared, Einsteinium. But look at it. This is what I try to avoid. This trigger at 2.65%, and it doesn't actually sell to 1.1%. I don't like that. I like to, if I'm catching it up there, you know, like this, at 2.1%. I like to catch it at 2%. Or 219 going down to 182. I can live with that, but I absolutely hate hitting a high number and dropping down to just barely being able to sell it. So I triggered a couple of like this right here. I really liked this one, but this one was all the way back on the 5th. Isn't anything you could do there. You just got to hope that you hit more of those lucky ones with high percentages than not. And then we can look over here at the Liam bot, which is the small cap. Now, the important thing to understand is I'm not getting the 1% a day that I want. There's some guys out there that are still getting 3 and 4%, but they weren't holding onto large bags through that whole thing. Some of them, they got smart and they just quit trading until it stabilized a little. I should have done that, to be honest, but I'm impatient. So looking at the Liam bot here, I've got 18 pairs here, and a lot of the stuff is still. This is where I was buying down in the trough of the of the other bots collapse. So I think maybe later in the next couple months I'm going to. Hey, there's Einsteinium making a push. I think I'm going to try running one of them on an EMA gain and go in against the low BB buy value. Just because I've been seeing a lot of the positive stuff about the EMA, and I need to get a little more versed in it. But when we start looking here, I'm not making a lot of money. I mean, plain and simple. But let's break it down to what I am making. So when we're looking at P-Dubs bot, since I've been running this, I think we were probably somewhere around, we were at day 7 when I did the last update. So I'm another week in. I'm going to try to do it probably a couple times a week just to get a little better idea of things. Now, on day 14, I really wanted to be up here. Making my 1% would put me at 0.115, Bitcoin. Because I started at 0.1 Bitcoin. Now, I'm looking here. I had some days where things tanked, and early on I made newbie stakes. And it's not newbie trader mistakes, but it's newbie profit trader mistakes. And the thing is, the basis of this, the whole point that we're doing this is it's volatile. What goes up comes down. What goes down comes up. Unless you get sacked by the SEC, then you might be screwed. But not too much of that going right now. I haven't lost a coin set yet, but you never know. So unfortunately, buying when it's in a frenzy, which the bot doesn't distinguish whether it's in a frenzy or not. When you're buying up here and everything's going down and it makes that little uptick, well, you're still in the values that you set, even though you're trailing down. You're gonna lose on some of those sometimes, and you just gotta understand. You gotta bite that bullet and start pumping into it. So that's what I'll be doing. So my daily gains since the 7th, the day after, it was just atrocious. 0.06%. I couldn't sell anything. Nothing was trading out. Then the day after that, I'm under a quarter, 0.07, 0.03. Started showing life about 3 days ago on there where I'm 0.26, 0.21, 0.14. At least I'm not in the double digit, the hundredths of the percentiles at that point. But it's still not where I want to be. I want to be at that 1% and growing, and it just isn't working out. And it's just because of the market. But the important thing is I'm still pushing forward every time. So I kind of threw this into the spreadsheet today where I'm looking at the total gain. So what I've gained in Bitcoin and what its value is based at, a rough value of where we're at now. $84. So in the 2 weeks I've run this, it's got me $45 worth value in Bitcoin at today's pricing. Now, I don't plan on selling until it goes way up anyway, and I don't plan on selling for quite a while. So even though it's only $45 worth of value, and it's less than it's 5,000ths, a little over 5,000ths of a Bitcoin. The important thing is it's going up, and it'll be compounding every time. I'll be getting more and more and more. So the end result was that in the 2 weeks that I've been running it, from the original starting price, I've gained almost 5.4%. It's not great, but I've eaten some things from BTS. I've cleared 2 bags to be able to sell some more, and you see the short-term gain from it, but getting back to scratch is really hard. So And then let's look at Liam's bot. So we were at 5.4% here, and Liam's bot. We started here. Now, I've been running this one, right before the last update. So Liam's bot, trading down in the trough of things, was doing better. I'm at almost 1% there, almost 2% there, 0.75% there, almost 1%, and I haven't really died down too much until recently, where those bags have just where it started to come back up to things. So I mean, overall, on the amount that I started with, 0.0286 Bitcoin, I've gained, well, let's see, 0.018, and that is probably around a third of what the other one is, and a guesstimated value of about 1571, and it's 6.5% of what my starting balance on this one was. So this one's doing better, but only because I'm trading down in the trough. I haven't taken and eaten any losses on this one. So when I'm looking here, my sales have been decent. They're not great, but this is a 17 and 12, 11, 10, 16, 15 cent. It's nickel and diming it. And, I'm starting to get some more trades in right now. But right now, if we look, I'm actually I'm in a sell strategy, but I got my sell only mode enabled because I want to clear out some of this. Today's a good day. The weekend seems to be garbage for trading for me for some reason. And I'm probably going to have to revisit the DCAs. But to be honest, I'm newer with this as well as a lot of you other people are, and it is trial and error. I could take somebody else's settings and plug them in here, and there are people out there who are selling their settings like they're such great settings, but it's not specific to your account or to your budget. So, ask questions to make sure you're understanding all the features and functions of them, and that's great. And if you take and apply that approach to your own personal touch, you're going to do fine. Sometimes there's just not much that you can do in a bad market, and it had been a bad market because we had no stabilization of the Bitcoin. So as it's coming up and going down, when it goes down, altcoins go down much faster, and when it goes up, altcoins come up much slower. So you got to wait for the Bitcoin market to stabilize itself before you can start getting steady trading pairs. And even more than that, like this right here, this Ethereum. I was hovering it down in 4 and 5, 8%, but I've been sitting on it 6 days. I'm back up to 3.3%. Litecoin was the same way. It was down to 4 or 5%. I've actually traded on that once already and bought it again, and it dropped some more. It's just about waiting until you get the profit that you want. So don't set your levels too aggressive for the percentage you want, because to be honest, if you're waiting for 3 or 4% gain on those, you may have gotten 6 or 7 1% gains in that time, buying it down and keeping on going. But there are risks. All right. So, being Sunday, today that is it's time to announce our $5 winner. Now, as horrible as it is, transaction fees sending from Poloniex server is, sending $5 literally costs $5. So it's not in my best interest to send it through Bitcoin. So I do want to repay somebody. This week's semi-random winner, as we've seen, it actually goes to Eric Winter, who actually found a mistake in one of my other videos that I had to reconciliate just for my privacy concerns. So I wanted to say thank you for the shout out, and you by default are this week's $5 winner, and I'll go ahead and get that sent over to you, and we're going to be doing it via PayPal. But now I do want to announce one thing here. I will be doing a bigger giveaway for obviously, YouTube's coming up on its nice little cut down on viewership, so I'm trying to get my subscriptions up, I'm trying to get my views up, so share this, like it, keep tabs. You're going to see all the bad things that I end up doing, and those are going to be the things that you are going to avoid. You're going to see the good things that worked for me. I mean, I'm not going to be going and sharing my settings unless, if you really want some of that information. I know some guys who are much well versed in the variance of the settings for you. Mine, as you can see, they're not knocking out home runs. But there's a great community for the profit trailer here. So I'm trying to keep my subscriptions service up and keep you informed with information as it comes, as it pertains to the market, as it pertains to trading in the market. And so when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be dealing out $50 for, well, I'm not going to say the 1,000 subscriber. It'll go down to the random of the 1,000 subscribers or plus, however many are in there at that point. And I'll send it through with Bitcoin, because at this point I can afford $5 on a $50 ship out. So, if you find this useful, or even if it's not useful and it's just funny to watch some other guy who's not doing the best of it, I appreciate that too. Hey, I'm part of your community, you're part of mine. I want to do better, I want you to do better. And if it means that you get to laugh at the fact that that I am only making 0.5% or 0.25%, I can live with that. I know you don't want to. I don't want to. We'll get better. We'll grow it. But if you haven't got Profit Trailer yet, check the link below. I have a link for that. It does actually help me and helps me, contribute to the system here. It doesn't cost anything more for you. And if you really want to get into, we do have a Discord channel. I'll see if I can't link it down here below. And just go in there and ask some questions around about it. But it's a great community of people, and I'm sure that you'd be a welcome addition. But, at this point, look forward to midweek update to see how we're doing here. And then next week we'll do another $5 deal it out. So I'm probably going to stick with the PayPal accounts for a little while until I get a good subscription base where I get YouTube revenue and I can afford to pay you all, because clearly I'm not breaking the bank here. So we will catch you next time, and keep with it. All right, thanks.